I should be able to come here and go live on Facebook, AFM bond valuation, AFM bond valuation, AFM bond valuation, Control Shift arrow, copy, put like this. And then right away, I would want to start straight away by looking at a question, ladies and gentlemen. And I would want us to do a very simple question today. I would want us to do a very simple question. A very simple question. And this question that I'm doing, on bond valuation, I would want us just a minute to look at, yes, 193, 193, bond valuation. All right. So we are told here that a company, so an exercise here, we are told a company issued a 10% debenture, a 10% debenture, a 10% debenture at a market price of Kenya shillings 92. At Kenya shillings 92. The debenture is redeemable. The debenture is redeemable in 5 years' time, at a par value of Kenya shillings 100. Corporation tax rate. Sorry for that. Corporation tax rate is 30%. Corporation tax rate is 30%. 30% is 30%. So then we are required to determine before we look at the valuation. Let's determine, number one, the KD of the bond. KD of the bond. We determine KD of the bond. And then number two, we get, in this case here, the MD. Number two, we get the MD, where MD is the Macaulay's what year? Duration is the Macaulay's duration if the cost of capital is 15%. We get the MD if the cost of capital is 15%. MD is Macaulay's duration. Macaulay's duration. Is there anybody who has ever seen this kind of a concept in their CASNEB exams? Is there anybody who has seen this kind of a concept from their past papers? I'm not asking whether you did any paper that had this concept and it harassed you so much. I just want to know whether there is any student who has ever seen it, who has ever seen this. Nope. Leonida, yes, it is there. Very common. 2 consecutive sittings. 2 consecutive sittings. 2 consecutive sittings. All right. So if I get this kind of a question, ladies and gentlemen, then what shall I be able to do to get, first of all, KD? What will I do to get KD? To get this cost of debt. So to get this cost of debt, ladies and gentlemen, to get this cost of debt, to get the cost of debt KD, I know that this debenture is redeemable. And if it is redeemable, is there anybody who is able to remember the concept of yield to maturity? Yield to maturity. How will I be able to get yield to maturity? How will I be able to get KD if it's redeemable? It's very easy to get KD. I will take the interest amount plus, I'm benefiting in 2 ways. I will be earning interest and I will be getting the capital gain. I'll be getting the capital gain. So how do I get the capital gain? I will, of course, get this at par. During redemption, I'll get the par value, and it had cost me much less. It had cost me much less. So in this case here, we take the par value minus the market value. But now you see this is over time. I buy today, I get this money back, say in 5 years' time. And I would want this capital gain to be annualized, So I need to come here and divide this by N. And then I'll come and say everything all over the same here, the average investment. How do I get the average investment? You will take the par value plus market value of the bond. You divide this by 2. So you take par value plus market value. Whatever you shall get, I want average investment. I will divide this by 2. And then at the end of it all, ladies and gentlemen, I must come and multiply this with what here? With 1 minus t, like that. I must come there and multiply this with 1 minus t, So have they been able to write this? Have they been able to write this formula? Abracadabra? Have they been able to write this formula somehow? So we have here interest amount plus the capital gain. I have bought this thing for 92 and I'll get back 100. I'll get back 100. So abracadabra, let's now do this question pretty fast. What is this KD? So do we have the interest amount? So we know that the interest will always be equal to the coupon times the par value. Interest will be coupon rate times the par value. Interest rate has never been multiplied with the market value. It is the 10% times the par value. So this gives me 10 like that. And then once I have that, I will be able to plug in everything here. So KD, I have the interest amount. Interest amount is 10 plus the par value. Par value is 100 minus the market value. I bought it at what value? I bought this from the market at what value? Are you able to remember? At what value? What was the 92 years? So 92, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here is our market price. Divide this by the number of years, the redemption period. The redemption period, walisema ni miaka ngapi? In this question, miaka ngapi? 5 years. 5 years. And then, ladies and gentlemen, whatever I will get in the numerator, I'll come and take these two, basically 100 plus 92, and then we add those. We divide in this case here by 2, not 5, like that. So whatever we shall get at the end of the day, actually, if I were you, I'll just work this out ikiwa kando. Whatever I shall get at the end of the day, I will come and multiply this with what here? With 1 minus tax. 1 minus tax is 30%. 1 minus tax, our tax is 30%. So please move slowly. If I were you, I would move slowly. Get the numerator first. So I will say here 10 plus 100 minus 92. Whatever I get here, of course, I'll have to divide with 5. So I'm saying 10 plus, open brackets, 100 minus 92. You close brackets, you divide by 5. What are we getting for our numerator, my good students? What are we getting for my numerator? What are we getting for our numerator? Abracadabra. So they're getting 11 point what here? They are getting 11.6. Are they getting 11.6, all of them? It's only Leonida who is giving me 11.6 for the numerator. Numerator is 11.6. 11.6. Thank you very much. How about denominator? Open brackets 100 plus 92, close, divided by 2. So 100 plus 92, close, divided by 2. What do we have there? What do we have there? Queen, she's giving me 96. 96 times abracadabra, 1 minus 0.3 gives me 0.7. 11.6 divided by 96, ladies and gentlemen, times 0.7. Then at the end of the day, what shall we get as our KD, as our cost of debt? 8 point something. Leslie is giving me 8.5. Leslie doesn't cheat. Leslie always gives me the correct figure. 8.446, 8.45. Please, let's get to the fact that we must give this examiner bigger decimal places like 2 or 3. 8.458. 8.458. In this case here, percent, or 0.08 something, 0.08 something, 0.08 something. So is that okay for all of us, ladies and gentlemen? Have we mastered that formula of getting KD? Because I have to show you how to get KD before I do bond valuation. Before I do bond valuation. So this formula is okay. This formula is okay. Then, ladies and gentlemen, from there, I will be able to go ahead and show you guys how we get the Macaulay's duration. How we get the Macaulay's duration. Macaulay's duration. So Macaulay's duration is the easiest. It is the Mr. MD himself. Mr. MD himself. So how do we get this Macaulay's duration? The MD. The MD, what we shall do to get Macaulay's duration, we normally take the discounted cash flows times time. You add. And then you come and give us the summation of what year? Discounted cash flows, like that. It's a simple formula. Very simple formula. Very simple formula. Anytime they want me to give them the Macaulay's duration, I will come and take a summation of discounted cash flows. Discounted cash flows times time. Divide this by what year? Summation of discounted cash flows. I'm not asking whether you have understood, but have you written the formula? Yeah, Mr. MD, the big man, the formula. Yeah, so it's only Paul who is talking to me. And today I expected many ladies to talk to me because today is your day, ladies. Today is your day, ladies. By the end of this session, we'll even want you to put your cameras on so that you can see whether uko happy or uko sad. Later, not now. Later, when we finish. We don't want distractions now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, then is there somebody here who is able to give me the cash flows of this bond? The cash flows of the bond. The cash flows of the bond. So cash flows, remember it's a 5-year bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you able to give me the cash flows of the bond? Are you able to give me the cash flows of the bond? Abracadabra. Cash flows of the bond. Mwalimu, do these bonds really have cash flows? See, cash flows ni interest, jameni. Cash flows ni interest, jameni. Cash flows ni interest. Cash flows ni interest, jameni. Cash flows ni interest. Cash flows ni interest. So we know that year 1, we shall get interest of 10, isn't it? Year 1, we shall get interest of 10. And then year 2, ladies and gentlemen, year 2, we shall get what interest there? Remember, it's a fixed coupon. Fixed coupon. Remember, to get interest, you say is 10% of the par value, which is 100. So then this will be 10. Here we get 10. Here we get 10. Here we get 10. How about year number 5? Somebody is following. Year number 5, what will be our cash flow? For year number 5, what will be our cash flow? Grace, you seem to be following this thing very well. Grace seems to be following this very well. Leonida as well, because year 5 is the year of redemption. Year 5 is the year of redemption. Is that okay? Year 5, you'll get back your 100 plus the interest for the year rose. Great. Year 5, you'll get back, in this case here, your 100 plus 10, which gives me 110. So the only thing that I need to do is to come and treat, remember in Macaulay's model, MD, you must treat these 10 as if they're independent cash flows, as if they're irregular. You'll still get the same answer. So come here and give me PVIF. PVIF. Is there somebody who remembers the cost of capital? Is there somebody who is able to remember the cost of capital? Anybody who is able to remember the cost of capital? Cost of capital? 15%, isn't it? Cost of capital is 15%. I love Macaulay. So 15% end of year one, what do we have? 15% end of year one, what do we have? 15% end of year one, what is the PV? Present value interest factor. I'm so sure there will be somebody who will make an argument that, Mwalimu, now, why can't we use PVFA? And yet these are annuities. Macaulay is not for that model of PVFA here. For Macaulay, we shall always use PVF. So umeniambia hapa ni 0.8696. 0.8696. From there, ladies and gentlemen, we have what year? 8696. From there, you go to the second one. 15% year two. Please read from your tables. 15% year two, what do we have there? 15%, 7561, 0.7561. And then we have 15% end of year three. 15% end of year three, what do we have there? 15% end of year three, 6575. 6575. And then 15% end of year four. 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 Oh, I'm alone, but I shall overcome. I'm alone, but I shall overcome. 57, 17. 57, 57, 57, 18. They're saying 57, 18. 57, 18. 57, 18. How about end of year five? How about end of year five? How about end of year five? 49, 72. So 0.49, 72 like that. 0.79, 72. So up to here, are we really still connected? Is the signal strong? Are we together up to here? Are we together up to here? Great. Then come and create a column here for discounted cash flows. Create a column there for discounted cash flows. So you are taking this times this. Very easy. Very easy, very easy. You can do 3 decimal places here. It is 8.696. The first one, 10 times this. And then we have 10 times this, giving me 7.561. This gives me 6.575. This gives me 5.718. And then lastly, this is quite technical. 110 times this in 3 decimal places. It doesn't matter. 110 times this. What figure are we getting? Somebody, 110 times this. What figure are we getting there? 54.692. Now, from there, remember I gave you the formula of MD. I gave you the formula of MD. MD, I told you that MD, Macaulay's duration, to get Macaulay's duration, now you have to bring durations into your discounted cash flows. You have to bring in durations into your discounted cash flows. So you'll come and take the DCF times time. All over, in this case here, DCF summed. So, and remember, this is the time. So you need to take this column and this column and call it DCF times time. DCF times time. Abracadabra. The time here is, so I'm taking this and DCF. So 1 times this gives me 8.696. That is the first one. And then now we have 2 times this. 3 decimal places, really. I hope they're following up to here. According to Madam Queen seems to be very happy today. 15.122. 15.122. 15.122. That's purity. Thank you very much. And then now we have time 3. Time 3 times the discounted cash flow for time 3. Time 3. According to Queen again, 19.725. 19.725. 19.725. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have this one here, time. But now we are talking of time. So 4 times this gives me what figure? Gives me what figure? Gives me what figure? Bracadabra, Queen again. I'm only teaching one student called the Queen here, really. 22.872. This is a class of 80-something. A class of 80-something. I expect students in this case here to really contribute. I expect students to contribute. According to Maurice, thank you very much, Maurice, it is 273.46. 273.46 like that. So then come and give me these totals. Give me the totals of DCF and the totals of DCF times time. Give me the totals. Give me the totals. Give me the totals. Give me the totals. You are adding, right? The DCF first. Let's add 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 the DCF first. DCF. So DCF, we have 83.242. This is 83.242. How about DCF times time? DCF times time. How about DCF times time? When you come here, Leonida, you're a good student. 339, 339, 339.875, like that. 339.875, 339.875. Is that okay? Is that okay? Up to here? Are we together up to here? All right, they're telling me when we are together, then go ahead and give me the MD's value. MD's value, Macaulay, Macaulay, Macaulay. Go ahead and give me the MD's what here? The MD's time. Go ahead and give me the MD's time. So the MD in this case here, we know that MD is discounted cash flow times time over discounted cash flow summed. So now we have this is 339.875 all over 83.242 like that. So what is Macaulay's duration here? What is Macaulay's duration? Macaulay's duration, it's 4.83, 4.083 like that. I'm so sure not many students would have been able to get this up to this level. But good students will tell you, whenever they see any question about bond value, redeemable bond, at least good students will know from their FM of the intermediate level. Those good students here will tell you, hey, I will do a cash flow statement and I will discount. Even if I don't remember DCF times T, a good student, whenever they see a redeemable bond, they'll tell you, hey, let's do it. These at least. So you get like student has never heard about Macaulay, but they're able to get out of say 4 marks, they get 2 marks like that. But now the most important thing is, should they bring Macaulay again? Utapata ma utapata. Should they bring Macaulay again? Utapata ma utapata. Macaulay, is it really a very tough thing? Is it a very tough thing? Is it a very tough thing? Is it a tough thing? We'll pass. Macaulay, MD, Nitapata. I will get. Naona mmoja anasema no, perhaps amejoin late. Yeah, yours looks easy. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Macaulay. So tafanya research. Macaulay. All right. At least deal. Thank you so much. Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me, there is this concept that you are taught in economics. In economics, which they keep on bringing here, ninjas will work on it. Great. Which in this case here we call utility theory. Utility theory. Remember, utility. Add, how do I add him? How do I add the lady? How do I add the lady? So then I would expect you guys to look at the past papers and no, you can't, once I've opened the group, it's not me to add the students here. No, the group is open. So it means that our internet is poor. Our internet is poor. There is nothing much you can do about that. And then, of course, if you allow me, within 1 minute, I should be able to take you through, ladies and gentlemen, what we call the utility concept. Remember utility, what is utility? It's a measure of what here? Satisfaction. Utility is a measure of satisfaction. It's a measure of satisfaction. I mean, they have tested as that concept, and you get students in this case, lakini pia wanafunzi muko na shida tu. Lakini pia siwezi kwa blame. I can't blame students because I think you guys are juggling so many balls. All of them are in the air. All right. So of course, the only ball that you should never break is family ball. All these others here can break because you can do what you can still, make up something out of them. But family ball can never be broken. So I believe most of you mnaanguka. Si ati ni wajinga hapana. You have so much. Like there must be somebody who has a very busy what year job schedule. So utapata huyo inakuwa shida. Otherwise, these are not things that you should fail. Never, 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 never. These are not things that you should fail. Na uwezo ukaleta excuse that sijui sijafunzwa. Kuna vitu ambazo ni za general knowledge. Let me show you something about your general knowledge. Just a minute. Just a minute. Nikuonyesha something which is general knowledge. Mention there, illustration. Of course, when we talk of utility, we are looking at what here? Satisfaction. Satisfaction, which is derived from consumption of a product. Utility. So then I would want us, ladies and gentlemen, straight away here to write an example here. Write an example here. So for example, so we have here an investor has been prescribed with the following lotteries, with the following lotteries. So then we have lottery number one, lottery one. So lottery one, what do we have here? So we have here 0.5 chance, 0.5 chance of receiving nothing, 0.5% chance, 0.5 chance, I mean, of receiving nothing. And then we have 0.5 chance of receiving 100,000. And then the amount he's willing to pay. Amount he is willing to pay. Amount he is willing to pay is shillings what here? Is shillings 40,000. Shillings 40,000. Shillings 40,000. Shillings 40,000. So of course here you will be required to do two things. You'll be required here to give us the expected monetary value. Expected monetary value. That's number one. And then number two, expected utile value. Expected utile value. Expected utile value. And then number three, they can also ask you to define the risk attitude. Risk attitude. Oh, this is very easy. The easiest thing ever. I normally tell my students, if you go to an exam and then you realize, even if you are seeing stars, you're not seeing anything. Also at times, life is funny. You could easily go to an exam and then that day just the mind switches off totally. It switches off totally. So then if that happens to you, that automatically in this case here, your mind, God forbid, is frozen. At that frozen stage, there are things you're supposed to know, even if you know nothing. Whenever you see a value and a probability, what should you do to those values and probabilities? Whenever you see a value and a probability, you multiply, yes. You multiply. So in this particular case, I will come and write here, I have what we call the monetary value. We have what we call the utiles, utility. And then we have probability. So monetary value, the first one here is receiving 0. And then the other one, the highest, is you get 100,000. 100,000. These are the monetary values, not market values, but monetary values. So 0 and 100,000. Now remember, you are told that in terms of investments, when you get 0, whenever you purchase something and then you get 0 value, that is the least satisfaction level. You've gone, in this case here, procured a gadget, and then you don't get to use it at all. So the level of satisfaction there. So you look at the two extremes. The two extremes, in this case here, we have the lowest and the highest, and then you assign them the extreme utile values. So this is the lowest, where you are receiving nothing. So the utility here will be 0. And where somebody is receiving maximum, like now this is the second possibility, where this person is getting maximum, then the satisfaction there will be 100%. So in this case here, we have 1, like that. So remember, this 0 and 1, 1 is 100%. Those are the extreme. When I'm fully satisfied, 1. This will be the best outcome, 1. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the probabilities are here. These are the chances here. So we have here 0.5. We have 0.5 there. So please go ahead and then give me the expected monetary value. But first of all, before I progress up to here, is there somebody who is able to see something? Or are you seeing stars alone? Please feel free to ask questions. My students, they know me as a ninja. They call me ninjas. Although we agreed, the word ninja is for Zoom here. Don't be like this person who got me on the streets. Anambia ninja. Jaribu kuimagine zao ninja ni nani? Kumbe ni mimi naitwa ninja. Na sijui. Hii tunaitana ninja hapa. Uko nje wewe. Especially when you are with your colleagues, don't call me ninja. People may wonder. What type of a ninja is this? Ninja ni hapa. Ama hata uko nje ninja iko sawa kweli? Uko nje ninja iko sawa? Uko nje ninja iko sawa kweli? Si ni maninja wa AFM class. Si uko nje. Uko nje, people know me to be very serious. Not ninja. Not ninja. So then hapa iko sawa. Sasa kuja, si hapa kuna monetary value. Sasa kuja hapa number 1, give me the expected monetary value. Give me the expected monetary value. EMV, like that. So how do I get this expected monetary value? I will take the monetary values given times the probabilities. So I will take 0 times 0.5 plus the next monetary value is 100,000 times, in this case here, 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. So in this case here, the expected monetary value, they're giving me a figure of what here? A figure of 50,000. A figure of 50,000. They're giving me a figure of 50,000. They're giving me a figure of 50,000. That is the expected monetary value. Hata kama hii ilikuwa ngumu kidogo kwa mtihani, hata kama huku umefunzwa, lakini ukaona hata kiangalia marking scheme, mwalijua kwamba whenever you see a value times probability, whenever you see a value and probability, you simply multiply them, they got that mark. They may have missed the other questions, but here they got a mark. They got a mark. They got a mark. So now after that, ladies and gentlemen, come straight away and give us, that's number 1. Number 2, give us expected utility value. Expected utility value. Expected utility value. So the utility value, what do we have? We have the utilities here. So we'll talk of 0.0 times 0.5 plus the utility here, 1 times 0.5. So is there somebody who is able to give me this figure? Abracadabra. Is there anybody who is able to give me the figure here? .5. Thank you very much. 0.5. 0.5. Now from there, we got the last one, which is the risk attitude. Risk attitude. The risk attitude. Risk attitude of this investor. Is this investor a risk taker or risk averse? Is this investor a risk taker or risk averse? This investor, is he a risk taker or risk averse? It can't be neutral. Remember, he's willing to pay. Remember, this guy is willing to pay, is willing to pay 40,000. It would be risk neutral if he paid 50 and is getting 50. He's getting 50. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can see this person here is looking by all means, to get a profit. Because he knows he'll get 50,000 on average, but is willing to pay the cost ni kidogo. So in this case, he's looking for some comfort. People look for comfort. In this case here, they are what here? Somebody they are risk averse. So this is less than what here? This is less than 50,000, and therefore he is risk averse. Remember, risk takers are like now some of you, those guys who are doing international business, the international investors. Unasikia jamaa amewekelea 100 na hata hajui player ni mgani kwa game. He is almost expecting 0, but amewekelea 100. That's a risk taker. But if you know that you are expecting to get like a 50,000, but you're willing to put in less, when the moga, when risk what here, risk averse, when risk averse, when risk averse. Do we have anybody in this case who bets here? Do we have anybody who bets here? Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember now, moving forward, as I go to the next lottery, I have to know that this amount, we are willing to pay this 40,000. This 40,000. So at this 40,000 payment, now we have a new utility figure. At this 40, if we pay this 40,000, expected is like that, but now the utility figure for 40,000 is 0.5. As I go to the next lottery, it will be very important for you to know this. As I go to the next lottery, now I know that if I pay 40,000, I have a utility figure for this table. If I pay 40,000, in this case here, the utile for 40,000, the utile here will be 0.5, because the next lottery will be having 40,000 somewhere. The next lottery will be having 40,000 somewhere. The next lottery will be having 40,000 somewhere, and you will be able to see it. Lottery number 2. Lottery number 2. So now we have here lottery 2. So lottery 2, what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? Lottery 2, we have here 0.3 chance of receiving 40,000. 0.3 chance of receiving 40,000. All right. And then we have 0.7 chance. Now they'll give you a new amount. 0.7 chance of receiving, 0.7 chance of receiving how much here? 0.7 chance of receiving 100,000. Of receiving 100,000. In rahisi sana. In rahisi sana. And then the amount willing to pay. Amount is 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 willing to pay. This guy is willing to pay how much here? He's willing to pay 85,000. He's willing to pay 85,000. Never ever start with this amount he's willing to pay. No, no, no. You come and make your schedule here. In your schedule, give us the monetary values. Give us the monetary values. So the monetary values we have, 2 of them, shillings 40,000, shillings 40,000, shillings 100,000. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have utility values. Utility values. Hapa ninataka confusion kidogo, lakini mwanafunzi mwerevu ujua. So what is the utility value of 40,000? Can somebody tell me? What is the utility value of 40,000 from your understanding? Utility value of 40,000 from your understanding ni ngapi? Utility value 0, no. Already we have something driven here. We got something driven here. You know, normal lottery 1 information will feed lottery 2. Lottery 2 will feed lottery 3. We said if he pays 40,000, what is the utility value? 0.5. 0.5. Lottery 1 feeds lottery 2. Lottery 2 feeds lottery 3. Lottery 3. So in this case here, we have here 40,000 is 0.5. And then of course, 100,000, we already had the utility figure. Do you remember that utility figure of 100,000? Oh yeah, niko peke yangu. Niko peke yangu. Niko peke yangu. Ilikuwa ngapi? Utility figure of 100,000. It's there, up there. It is up there. Do you remember it was 1? Because these were the extremes. Not 0.5, not 0.5, not 0.5. Don't tell me that they have to add up to 1. No, no. We already have defined utility values in part 1, in lottery 1. In lottery 1, we have 100,000 utility is 1 here. Here is not about like adding or subtracting. No, no. And then of course we have now our probability. These are the probability. These are the probabilities like that. These are the probabilities like that. So then can you kindly go ahead and give me the expected monetary value? Go ahead and give me the expected monetary value. So go ahead and give me the expected monetary value. So expected monetary value. Expected monetary value will be equal to expected monetary value. We have here 400,000 times the probability. So you're taking the monetary values times probability, not utility, times probability. So in that case here, what do we have? 40,000 times 0.3 plus 100,000 times 0.7. Are you able to give me this figure? Are you able to give me this figure? Abracadabra. Are you able to give me this figure? Are you able to give me this figure? Please don't treat this as if they are what your probabilities. These are utile values. These are utile values. So expected monetary value, what do we have there? How do you get the 0.5 utile value? There is somebody who's giving me a figure of 82,000 here. Is there somebody who is able to get 82,000? I'll be able to answer that, Leonida, right now. But is there somebody who is able to get 82,000 here? Is there somebody who is able to get 82,000? Yes. And then can you kindly go ahead and give me the expected utile value? Please go ahead and give me expected utile value. Utile value. So expected utile value, what we have these utile values. So we have 0.5 times the probability, 0.3 plus 1 times what here? 0.7. So 0.5 times 0.3 plus 1 times 0.7. So then this will give me, like Queen is giving me 0.85. 0.8. Are they able to get that number? Are they able to get that number? Are they able to get that number? 0.85. 0.85. Now, how much is this person willing to pay? The investor is willing to pay how much? The investor is willing to pay how much? Have they told us? Investor is willing to pay how much? To pay how much? The investor is willing to pay how much? Have they told us? The investor is willing to pay more. Is willing to pay even for air. Is willing to pay more than this expected. So he's willing to pay 85,000. So then what is his risk attitude? What is his risk attitude? Risk taker or risk averse? What is his risk attitude? Risk taker. Risk taker. Thank you very much. Risk taker. Now then, what is the utile value of the amount to be paid? What is the utile value? Utile value of 85,000. Can somebody give me this figure? What is utile value? Leonida, look at this. What is the utile value of 85,000, the amount to be paid? What is the utile value of the amount to be paid? Abracadabra. It is the expected utile value that we got here, isn't it? The expected utile value that we got for lottery 2. So the expected utile value that we got for lottery 2 is what we shall use here. Is what we shall use here. Abracadabra. Kuisha maneno. Kuisha maneno. So mpaka hapo sasa tumeelewa. Mpaka hapo tumeelewa. Mpaka hapo tumeelewa. Abracadabra, abracadabra, abracadabra. I'm waiting in this case here to see somebody like Leonida who was asking a question. All right. Now, in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, I would want us to look at the last lottery for you to understand everything. Lottery 3. So lottery 3, in this case here, they will use monetary value. They will use 0. And then they'll use this 85,000. 0 and 85,000. Ebu tuone maninja. Tuone maninja. Ebu kujeni hapa munipatie utile value. Tuone maninja. Oh, ye maninja. What do you think is the utile value of 0 maninja? AFM ninja. AFM ninja. What do you think is the utile value? What do you think is the utile value of 0? Utile value of 0. Somebody talk to me very fast as we finish. Utile value of 0 ni ngapi? Tuko tumeshapata kwa lottery 1. Lottery 1 liko umetupatia utile value. You wana confuse about 0.5 wapi? Si uko na monetary value ya 0 kwa lottery 1. Hauna kwa lottery 2 hauna 0. Hauna 0. So kwa lottery 1, in this case tuko na monetary value ya 0. So utile value hapa inafaa kuwa 0. How about utile value for 85,000? Utile value for 85,000 ni ngapi? Abracadabra, tumeipata mahali hapa. Utile value of 85,000 tumeipata mahali hapa. 0.85 like that. And then these guys have given me probability. They have given me probability. The probability here, they have given me 0.4 and 0.6. 0.4 and 0.6 and the amount to be paid for the lottery. amount to be paid, amount to be paid for the lottery, amount to be paid for the lottery, amount to be paid for the lottery, amount to be paid for the lottery is 51,000. 51,000. So amount to be paid for the lottery is 51,000. So then is there somebody who can now give me expected monetary value? Sorry, you'll be able to understand this here now. Expected monetary value, expected utility value, and risk attitude, and risk attitude, and risk attitude, and risk attitude. Is there somebody who is able to give me that? So in this case here, we have expected monetary value. So expected monetary value is the monetary values times the probability. So we have here 0 times the probability, which is 0.4, plus we have 85,000 times 0.85. So is there somebody who can give me this answer as we disappear? EMV is 51,000. 51,000. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have expected util. Expected util. Sarah, look at this. Expected util. So it will be 0 times 0.4 plus 0.85 times 0.6. What are we getting, ladies and gentlemen, here? What are we getting here? They're giving me 0.51. 0.51. Amount to be paid. So risk attitude. So risk attitude, you look at the amount to be paid. Amount to be paid is 51,000. This amount here, which is exactly equal to this 51,000. So then how will you classify this gentleman? Risk what? Risk what? This guy will be risk. This guy will be risk neutral, yes. This guy will be risk neutral. This guy will be risk neutral. And then what is the risk? What is the measure of satisfaction of this amount to be paid? The utility value that you have here. So if you go to the next question, if there was a lottery 4, this 51,000 will appear somewhere, and it will be having what utility value? You'll be having that 0.51, like that. I'm so sure you may not have understood everything. I've tried my best, but given the time limitation, you may not have understood everything. But are you appreciating that you are coming out of this session better off than you came in? Sure. Great, great. Thank you. Somehow, yeah, at least you have known something. So long as in this case you practice like when? Like immediately. Makaule at least umejua. Very nice. Great, great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss this thing that you don't want to hear. Let's discuss this thing that you don't want to hear. These lunch hour classes, I told you, they are going to be every day, AFM. And because Mwalimu is putting in his little time and, of course, effort here to be able to hammer questions in a very high-level revision way, Mwalimu needs some kind of compensation, little compensation. So how much do you think in this case here will be fair to the students that they can pay in 2 installments? Let's discuss about AFM alone. Because I realized AFR, you guys have classes in the evening. Like yesterday, I wanted to do a class, tax. Let's talk about AFM alone. AFM alone. Don't count this as your fees. Hii ni pesa ya mwalimu. Hii ni pesa ya mwalimu. Although italipo kwa pay bill ya shule. Italipo kwa pay bill ya shule. Ama itume kwangu direct, no. Italeta corruption in the company. They are not talking. This is very important. Hii ni extra. Sijui kwa shule primary school inatanga namna gani? Primary school. And it will really, this is something that I just thought about. It will be of great help to you ninjas. You'll be surprised. Big help to you. Big help to you. Big help to you. Big help to you. For the entire semester, from today to the last day. From today to the last day. From today to the last day. Today to the last day. Lunch hour, sessions only. If you're not available at that time, of course, you don't have to pay. And of course, this content will be different from what we teach. I'll be using different questions. I'll not be like teaching this concept kwa normal class. And whatever we teach here, tutafungua a special LMS for this content. for this content. So don't want to join in a special, from a special way, a special platform, different from the normal platform. So kama unafikia nitakuwa nayo kwa LMS unaipata, hautapata. Sad. So let's be serious. How much? Every day? Not Monday to Sunday. No. Monday to Friday. It's good you have asked. Monday to Friday, Vivian. It's good you asked. So how much? Throw in figures. Something that students in this case here, most students are hustling. Most of us were hustlers, but at least you need to appreciate mwalimu. You have to appreciate mwalimu. How much? Please talk very fast. And I have an idea. 200, no. What if we make it like 800, but you can pay in 2 installments? Will that be fair? 800, you pay into it. And then I have something very good. I wish we can get also time for AFR. If we got time for AFR, what I would have done, I would have told you to pay 1,600. You pay 1,600, and then this is what I shall do when you pay 1,600. I wish we had time for AFR as well. In the evening 6, I would have told you to pay 1,600, and then I teach you AFM, I teach you AFR, and then when we close school, I teach you advanced Excel. So the students who pay this 1,600, we teach them now AFM and AFR at the end. And then at the end of the day, we teach them advanced Excel. From the time we finish our exams, that's like 1 week. I take time to take you through advanced Excel and some sort of modeling. I think that will be very, very good. Excel. Trust me, Excel unajua ni kidogo sana. Hata yesu fika 20%. If we sit down with you, nishawafanyia Excel kweli nyinyi? Nishawafanyia Excel hapa kwa class. Have I ever demonstrated some Excel knowledge? Hapa live. The Excel that I know, I mean, it is big. It's big. I'm so sure you guys will be able to get quite a lot. So then if that is the case, if we agree on this and you're doing 2 subjects, although the time you're AFR and a little sheet as soon as I can finally high level revision, if we agree like that, please go ahead and make the payment. We'll have to discuss about the time for this. I don't know whether there are students who can get time at 2 p.m. Weekdays, 2 p.m. Because now all your 6 p.m.s like you're occupied. 6 p.m.s you're occupied. You're occupied. You guys are doing too many papers. I don't know why. You're doing like 5 papers and you have big jobs. Your family's international disaster. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, you can go ahead and of course you guys have our pay bill. You have our pay bill. What do you do? Our pay bill is 62.42.839. And then the account, if you're paying for 2, it will be special revision. What if you're doing AFM alone? If you pay 800, will you get this? No, because this also comes with a certificate. You can't get a certificate. Later on, when you come to this, I'll charge you 800. So that is it. Hey, mwalimu, they are crying. But as you cry, let's be very, very fair. Will you get really somebody who will be able to come like over lunch hour every day to teach you for free? And you know for sure that even other colleges in Kenya, they have like, for example, just evening classes only. I know times are hard, but also you have to look at some kind of fairness. Times are hard, but you have to be fair. Both ways. 800 is not much. It's not a lot. 800 is not a lot. Given even the Excel itself that I'll be teaching you around here is worth of 100,000. It's not even 80,000. It's not 8,000. It's not 800. It's worth a lot. It's worth a lot. All right. So then from today in the evening, when I call for a special revision class, we will be able to create a new group called what here? Special revision. We'll have special revision AFM, special revision what here? AFR. So we shall no longer be sending like free of charge classes. Sad, but it is the way it is. And of course, you should not feel disadvantaged if you will not attend this. Still in the normal class, we shall be able to give you I mean, good knowledge, good content. But I know with the experience that I have, a student who does join these many classes will of course have an advantage. Otherwise, thank you very much. I can see it is exactly 2 something. 8206. Sawa. All right. So see you again. As you cry, but of course you can't cry. You know the value of education. You can't cry too much. Thank you. Bye. And of course, the students who are following me on Facebook, and would want to get in touch with us for this program, lunch hour program, and of course, evening program for AFR, you need to get in touch with us. 0793 555 000. 0793 555 000. The students who are following us on Facebook, are they interested on this special revision, lunch hour classes, and most probably, depending on whether we shall agree with these students, 6 p.m. for AFR, 1 hour. AFR 1 hour every day. 1 hour every day. Then you need to give us a call and we shall be able to tell you what you need to do to join us. Otherwise, thank you very much. Be blessed. Bye.